Masechet Pessachim Ayin Chet Amoud Bet at the Mishnah. Let's not forget what we said about the Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua Machloket yesterday. Very simple. That a korban needs, according to Rabbi Eliezer, only one thing to be kosher. That means all it needs is the zrika. It needs the zrika of dam. And according to Rabbi Yeshua, you need two things. You need the dam and the basar. I'll explain that one more time. There are three components in a korban. There is the blood, zrikat dam. And there is fats that is called the imurim that go on the mizbeach. And then there's something else which is called the basar that the man himself eats. So Hashem gets 2 portions, man gets 1 portion. According to Rabbi Eliezer, for all korbanot except korban Pesach, the main thing is the blood. According to Rabbi Yeshua, you need both of them. So far, so good. So in general, if there's only the blood, it is good to go. However, here there's an exception to the rule. That's what we're speaking in our Mishnah. Please look at the Mishnah. Nitma basar, v'chenev kayam. When it comes to the korban Pesach, even though there is the fats which are going to go to the mizbeach, and the blood, of course, is good. If the meat that the man will not be eating, the kazait meat, it's not kosher. And why is it not kosher? Because even according to Rabbi Eliezer, says Rashi, Afiru Rabbi Eliezer, the reason, even though Rabbi Eliezer says you usually only need blood, here the difference of Rabbi Eliezer is that the whole point of the Korban Pesach is to eat the Korban Pesach. So if you're not eating the Korban Pesach, it's of course not kosher. Therefore it won't be kosher, and therefore eno zorek, you're not allowed to throw the blood, and we're going to see what that means in that Mishnah. But pay attention, he said you do not throw the blood. What happens if you did throw the blood? That's going to be what the Gemara is going to discuss. Et adam, nitma hecher achenev. Now, the opposite, if the fats that are supposed to go to the mizbeach are tameh, v'basar kayam, but the meat is valid for the person, zoreket adam, everybody agrees that now you can throw the blood and you're good to go. Because even though the mizbeach will not be getting its fats, you in fact are going to be in your kazait, you're good to go. Ubimukdashin, however, when it comes to the other korbanot, it's the opposite. Enoken. Even according to Rabbi Yeshua, you don't need to eat it for all the other korbanot. The main thing is the kapara, which goes to the mizbeach. Therefore, if you throw the blood and the fats are still intact, but the meat is not intact, kayam zoreket adam. You throw the blood. You throw the blood and it's good to go. Just a little recap on our Mishnah. According even to Rabbi Eliezer, if you do not have the meat, you do not do zrikat adam. The other korbanot, it doesn't make a difference if you don't have the meat, so long as you have the chedev. So far, so good. Amar Rav Gila, what did we say? You do not throw the blood. So imagine the situation, Johnny brings his korban Pesach. Johnny's korban Pesach, he shechs it. He has 1 bowl of blood, he has the fats, and he has the meat. Comes an animal and jumps on his meat. His meat, he won't be eating it. Does he throw the blood or he doesn't throw the blood? Our Mishnah said,
nitma or is
nitma. A dead animal fell on his meat. He will not be eating the korban Pesach. Does he throw the blood or not? Again, what did our Mishnah say? Nitma basar v'cherev kayam eno zorek et adam. You do not throw it. If Johnny will come and ask the Yaracha, we tell him, sorry, you don't have korban Pesach this year. You didn't do an avera, maybe you'll do Pesach Sheni. Okay, you can do Pesach Sheni, but you can't bring korban back because you're not going to eat it. But says Rav, Amar Rav, Gidel, Amar Rav. So Rav is the greatest Amora Rav. Im zarak urtza. All this is lichat chila according to Rav. But b'diavad, if you threw the blood, it's still good. You should not do that. But if you did that, it is valid, it's kosher. So far, so good. Veha, the Gemara says, bainan achila. But 1 second, we need to eat it. And here's where the hard part is, it doesn't mean to eat it. You need to shecht it for somebody that can eat it. Achila lo me'akva. He says, achila is not me'akev. Achila doesn't make a difference. And again, it doesn't mean eating it as well. What it means is, we're going to see now, it says, Ve'akitiv, ish lifi ochlo, ish lifi ochlo. Let's read the pasuk together, Torah Or Shalem Aleph. V'imim'at habayit miyot miseh. There's a sheep, but it's V'rakachu u'shcheno ha'karo benav. So now, it's too much meat. There's too much meat for we don't have enough people. So you're going to get together, for example, Natan and Mordechai will get together for the Korban Pesach. What do we do? Et beto b'miskat nefashot. What is that word miskat nefashot? Michsat nefashot means for the count of the people. That's called minuyav. You need to be signed up and you need to be signed up. Like Natan told us today that there is places that actually sign you up for the Korban Pesach. So you're signed up. Ish lifi ochlo tachosu. Ish, according to his eating of it, tachosu. What is chasusu? Again, you got to be acquainted on. So it's written 2 times. You got to be signed up. You got to be signed up. You got to be signed up. Ish. Let's read it again. B'michsat nefashot. You will be signed up for it. Ish lifri ochlo. We need to shecht it for you if you are able to eat it. If a sick person or a choded person is not able to eat it, it doesn't count. And then we say again tachosu, and we sign him up again in araseh. This pasuk, by the way, is not saying you have to eat it. That was throwing up in the Rashi's. Rashi's satum here. Only in Tosfot you can understand this. That what it's talking about is when I am shechting it, like we saw in Daf Samech Aleph, there are 2 requirements. Requirement number 1, I'm shechting for a person that is signed up. And number 2, the person that is signed up is able to eat it. If a person is 90 years old and he has no more teeth and he can't eat it, or he's sick, he has COVID, he can't eat a thing, so even if he's signed up, it doesn't count. From here we see that the adachai is when you shecht it, it needs to be for a person that can eat it. That's what it means over here. So now, what is the...
But if one of the guys is eating 2 kilo of meat, so you have to reserve him 2 kilo?
No, he only gets 1 kazayit.
It's a memutza.
And now don't forget, there's another korban, which is chagigat yud tetvav, that we give him if he wants to eat extra food. But no, everybody gets 1 kazayit from the korban pesach. Okay, so what do we have over here? That again, what's complicated over here is that we're talking about sprinkling the blood. We want to sprinkle the blood when there is no meat. Are you allowed to do that? Said Rab, yes. The Gemara says, 1 second, you have to eat it. And of course, it doesn't mean you have to eat it. I'll read it and I'll explain to you. Achila, no me'akva. No, eating is not me'akev. If you don't eat, and meaning if you don't shecht it for somebody to can eat, it's not me'akev. V'akediv ish lifi ochlo. It's written that we have to shecht it for a person that will eat it. The mitzvah, it's only lechatchina, not b'diavad. Ulakev lo. V'atanya b'michsat, when it says that you will be signed up. Meramed she'en pesach nishchat ela menuyav. It is only shechted for a person that is signed up. Yachol shechato shelo lemenuyav yekover al mitzvah v'kasher. Well, you might have thought if I shechted for people that are not signed up, I missed the mitzvah, but the korban is still kosher. It's not. Tamun omar ish lifi ochlo tachosu. We added the word and sign him up. Sign him up twice means that if you didn't sign him up, it's not kosher. Hakatuv shana alav la'akev ve'id kash ochlin menuyin. In the same pasuk, it's written the ones that have to eat it and the ones that need signed up. And so we have over here that it's very clear that if I shecht it for somebody that is not signed up, that it can't eat it, it's not kosher. Now, this doesn't make any sense at all without Tosfot. What did we just say? Johnny has his korban pesach. Johnny shechts it. Johnny has the blood. He has the fat. And he has the meat which he's supposed to eat. The meat which he's supposed to eat gets tameh. So what do we say? Don't sprinkle the blood. Okay, understand that. Said Rav, if you sprinkle the blood, it's still kosher. Rav, how can it be kosher? We know that you need to listen well. Shecht it for a person that can eat it. We just came out on the psukim that there is a mitzvah, according to this Braita, that you're shechting it for somebody that can eat. What in the world does it have to do with somebody has to sprinkle? Has nothing to do at all. I need to shecht it because you can eat it. But sprinkling, we know that let's say I shecht it for this guy. He's not signed up, he can't eat it. It's pasul. I need to shecht if a guy can eat it. But we already know in Samech Aleph that if you sprinkle it for somebody that's not signed up, it's kosher. So Tosfot explains like this. We see from here that the most important thing in the whole avoida is the machshava of the guy that can eat it. We see that eating is very chashuv. So sprinkling the blood is on a lesser level. However, it's only kosher if I shechted it for Johnny. Johnny can't eat it. I sprinkle it for Natan. He's not signed up. It's still kosher. But however, if I sprinkle it and there's no meat at all, then Tosfot says it's pasul. Since we see the Torah is very makpid on the eventually shechting it for eating it, so we make a deduction that if I sprinkle it and there is no meat, like there is no meat over here, then it will be pasul. So the Gemara is asking, how can Rav tell us that what happened is meat became pasul, we still sprinkle the blood? How can you sprinkle the blood? There is no meat available, and our deduction forces to think that you need to have meat available. So we have to say that Rav has a different shita. Rav de Amar ki Rabbi Natan. Rav holds like a different Tana. His name is Rabbi Natan. Damar achinat psachim lo me'akva. According to Rabbi Natan, you don't need to shecht it for a person that can eat it. Again, you need to. We're going to see in a second. You need to shecht that person can eat it, but there doesn't need to be meat. I need to shecht it for Johnny, but there doesn't need to be any meat available. It's a chidush of Rabbi Natan that's going against all the Tanakh, everything we learned.
You have to be shutav just by name.
By name, but even though there's no meat. How does it mean? Let's see. The Gemara says, where did Rabbi Natan learn from? So you understand what we're saying now? According to Rav, you're allowed to sprinkle the blood even though there's no meat. How come? Because Rav holds like Rabbi Natan that you can shecht the Korban Pesach even though there's no meat. Not enough meat to eat. One second. Usually a person has to eat a kazait. We're going to see for Rabbi Natan, you don't need to eat. I don't need to shecht for you to eat, and you actually don't need to eat. Which Rabbi Natan? There's two braitot of Rabbi Natan. We want to see which one is. Hey Rabbi Natan, the Gemara says. Which Rabbi Natan? Ilima hanata Rabbi Natan detanya. Rabbi Natan omer minayin shekol Yisrael yotzin bepesach echad. Did you know that according to Rabbi Natan, all of Klal Yisrael could bring one korban pesach? How do we know? That's not the halacha, but that's Rabbi Natan's opinion. From where does he know? V'shachetu oto kol kal adat Yisrael. All of Klal Yisrael will shech the korban pesach. Simple pshat is everybody does it, but it doesn't say. It says kol kal. All the community shechting. Is that true? Ben arba'in. V'ki kol hakal shochatin, v'lo en shochet ela ichad. Only one person is shochet. When we're 20 people, one person is shochet. So when it says that kol kahal is shochet, it's not they're all shochet. One is shochet. Ela, what does it mean? Kol kahal? Ela minamed shekol Yisrael yotzin bepesach echad. We see from here, according to Rabbi Natan, that all of Klal Yisrael is yotzi with one korban pesach. So what does that mean? If we're all yotzei, there's not a kazayit for one person. That means everybody signed up, but there's not enough meat. Rabbi Natan's shita, we seem to see from here, is that I can shecht. You're signed up. You will get no meat. It's okay.
Yeah, but the difference is there's no meat here.
Well, there is one korban, and there's 15 million Jews.
No, but in this case it's possible.
Oh, that's exactly what the Gemara is going to ask.
No, but also it's written.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's the Gemara is going to ask already.
You also, but you can say also. כל ישראל ישחטו אותו בין 40, וכי אפשר כל ישראל in 20 minutes they're going to shech.
So that's, Tanakam is going to, the Chachamim are going to ask your questions. But Rabbi Natan says one, so we see that there's Yotze with one. But Johnny's asking the question of the Gemara. V'i, what's the reason? Din mashane, maybe it's different there. Hatam, di'i mimashke hane chazirehane. V'mimashke hane chazirehane. I can be moshech yadav. I can say, you know what, I'm not eating this korban pesach. I'm signing up on a different one. So since it's technically possible that everybody signed up could get a kazait, maybe this is not a proof for us that you don't have to eat anything. Because it's true that everybody signed up one Pesach. But maybe 14,900,000 and 990,000 until 10 people left will say we're going to cancel. And then it turns out that everybody's going to get a kazait. So from here we see that it can't necessarily prove that Rabbi Natan says you don't need to eat. In theory you could be eating here, but what he's asking Johnny is that in our case there is no meat to eat. So the Gemara says, Era ha Rabbi Natan. Detanya, nimnu alav chabura. So imagine Yonatan ben Zikri and his whole family are signed up for Korban Pesach. And when they made the cheshbon, there is a kazait for each one. All of your family gets a kazait. That's called nimnu alav chabura. V'chazru v'nimnu alav chabachet. And there's another guy, Mordechai, says, you know what, I'm signing up. But now that Mordechai signs up, there's not a kazait because he has 10 people, and now there's not enough kazait for everybody. What's the halacha? Nimru alav chabachet. Rishonim sheyesh lem kazait ochrin u'pturin minasot pesach shein. So the first one, Mishpachat ben Zikri, they will eat and they will be patur from Pesach Sheni, they are patur. Achronim she'en lem kazait and ochrin hamin nasot Pesach Sheni. But according for Mordechai, that you're signed up and you don't get a kazait, so you got to do, I'm sorry, Korban Pesach Sheni. That is the opinion of Tanakama. Rabbi Natan omer, Elu ve'elu pturin minasot Pesach Sheni. Even Mishpachat ben Zikri are patur. What is the reason? Shekvar, listen well, Shekvar nizrak adam. Because the blood was already sprinkled.
It must be. What
do we say over here? We have again that I'm shechting the korban for them, and they don't get a kazait. So you see that you don't need to shecht for somebody that has a piece of meat. And you don't even need to get a piece of meat. The Gemara says, akate, still, maybe that's not a good proof. Din mashaneatam, di'i mimashche hane chazir lehu. No. It could be that, let's say that Mishpachat Zikri says, you know what, we're going to go to another party, another Korban Pesach, then Mishpachat Zikri will get. So again, it could be in theory that he's going to get a kazait. So why is this a proof of Rabbi Natan? Look what it says. In ken litne hu'in uri'uyim nimashech. Why did it say it's kosher? According to the svar we just said, it should say because it is possible that you could get a kazait. It doesn't say that. My shikvar nizrak adam. Why does our Braita say that we already threw the blood? Shma mina bedam tanya mita, aval achila no me'akva. From here we see that it all has to do with sprinkling the blood, and it doesn't have to do with eating. Let's just repeat what we just said one more time. We're looking for a source of Rabbi Natan, which Rav will hold us, that when you're shechting, I'm shechting for people that can't get a kazait. What is the proof of that? That when John ben Zikri has a korban Pesach, 10 people, and each one get a kazait, there's only 10 kazaitim, and John Mishpachah ben Zikri, ben Izri jumps on board, so they're also yotzeh. He's also kosher, says Rabbi Natan. You know why? Shekvar nizrak adam. Kvar means b'diavad. They shechted it, they threw the blood, then they came to ask the rabbi, what's the halacha? Yotzeh. So if it would be because technically he could get a kazait, it shouldn't say that the reason it's kosher because we threw the blood. It should say because John ben Zikri could cancel himself from the korban Pesach. It doesn't say that. So we see from here Shitat Rabbi Natan that it's enough to shecht the korban Pesach even though you can eat something.
Yes, but it's an ideal condition. Now you talk about the basar that is tameh lechatchila.
Yeah, yes, but what's the difference between tameh that you can eat and here they can't eat? From here we see that it's not lichatchila you shouldn't do this. Lichatchila you should get a korban pesach that you will eat it. It's written v'achlu ben arba'im. You got to have a possibility to eat it. But b'diavad, if you come and ask the rabbi before you spill the blood, he's going to tell you.
But this is only because you already spilled the blood.
Yes.
If you didn't spill the blood,
exactly
the meat
right.
is not enough.
That's exactly what I'm saying. If Johnny checks the korban pesach and the meat becomes tameh and he comes to the Sanhedrin, do I throw it? No. Sorry, do korban pesach sheni. If he threw the blood and then he realizes the thing is tameh, 1 second, it's a problem. Now he comes to and say you're yotzeh.
Yeah, but so we can't say that it's Rabbi Natan that just holds.
It's Rabbi Natan.
It doesn't just hold on you not being able to have enough
He
meat.
holds
the
bidi
zrika also.
avad. If you shechted and you couldn't get meat, it's still kosher. So our Mishnah now, if you look at our Mishnah, we're saying,
But only in one case.
but in every case, even the case where it became tameh. It doesn't matter. Well, according to Tanakama, you have
But
to.
in the case where it was tameh, there's no zrika.
There is zrika b'diavad for Rabbi Natan. And look what
Because
now.
it's based on you don't have to have all the meat.
Again,
You don't have to eat
we
meat.
know a concept that you have to shecht for a person that could eat the meat. Is that a lechatchila or it's a bidya? Is that a me'akev or it's not me'akev? Meaning, if you didn't do that, Natan, you okay?
Oh,
Is that? Oh, I'm going to repeat it one more time. We know that in general, all the rules we know until now is that when you shecht the korban pesach, it needs to be for somebody that's signed up and that somebody gets a kazait. If it's no kazait, it's not kosher. Rabbi Natan says not true. I have a braita. There is a case, according to Rabbi Natan, that if you shecht it, even though you can't get a kazait, b'diavad, if you already threw the blood, it's kosher. So whether it's tameh or there was not from the get-go enough, it is kosher for Rabbi Natan. Now the Gemara is going to ask, my duch. Now in our Mishnah, what do we say? If the korban pesach become tameh, we say don't throw the blood. That's don't throw the blood. The chatchila, but b'diavad throw the blood. So that's only if you say according to Rabbi Natan. My duch, the Gemara says, the Rav demukim nemasnisin chatchila. Why are you saying that our Mishnah is saying don't throw the blood is only don't do it a priori? That's only the chatchila. And Rabbi Natan, the Rabbi Natan, nukme ki Rabbanan afilu b'diavad. We know that according to Rabbi Natan, according to Chachamim, if you threw the blood, it's still not kosher at all. So why are you saying our Mishnah is Rabbi Natan? Say our Mishnah is Chachamim. When it says that it's not, don't throw the blood, why not say Chachamim and you cannot throw the blood? Says the Gemara, afilu b'diavad nami. Lo, Rav matnisim kishite. The Mishnah, the wording of the Mishnah is problematic. Why did the Mishnah say don't throw the blood? The Mishnah should say litne pasun. It should say if the meat became tameh, it's pasun. But it doesn't say that. It's the meat became tameh, don't throw the blood. Why don't throw the blood? Because if you threw the blood, b'diavad it is kosher. Litne pasun. Erashma mina en zorek lichatchila. B'diavad shapir dam. From here we see that don't do it lichatchila, but b'diavad it is kosher. Uri Rabbi Natan, now we have to understand Rabbi Natan. Ish lifi ochlo lamali. Well, 1 second. There is a pasuk that says you shecht it ish lifi ochlo. You are shechting it for a person that should technically have something to eat. How are you telling me that you can shecht for a guy that has nothing to eat? What do you do with that pasuk? Answer is Gabra dechazin achina. We're talking about a person that could eat. What are we talking about? A person that could eat, meaning you are a healthy person that if there would be a piece of meat, you would be able to eat it, but you don't need to eat it. Comes out according to Rabbi Natan, you need to shecht for a person that can eat, even though if there's no food to eat. But if you shecht for a person that cannot eat, even though there is food to eat, then you are not yotzeh. Okay, so far
That's
so
a
good?
possibility.
Huh?
That's to be a possibility.
Exactly right. Rabbi Natan, you're good with me? You're good? The Gemara says, Man Tana. Now we're going to discuss another Braita, and we're going to try to say who is the one that says this Braita. Man Tana lehadetanu Rabbanan, shachaton leochlav. If you who is the author of the following Braita? If you shecht it for somebody that can eat it, I'm shechting it for Johnny's young healthy man. He's long healthy life. He's able to eat it. I'm checking for him, and it's called V'zarko damon shelo. But when I sprinkle the blood, I'm sprinkling for a person that can't eat it. He's an old man, he's getting sick, he's not feeling well, he can't eat it. Is it kosher? A Pesach atzmo kasher. V'adam yotzeh b'yidei chovato. It is kosher, and the person gets the mitzvah. Who is that? Keman neima Rabbi Natan. Maybe this is Rabbi Natan. The Gemara says no. V'lo Rabbanan. Afilu tema Rabbanan en machshava ochlin bezrika. Actually, no. It's even according to Chachamim, because, like I told you at the get-go, shitat Chachamim is you need to shecht for somebody that could eat, and there needs to be food. But when I sprinkle the blood for somebody that can eat, that doesn't change anything. Only when I sprinkle the blood and there is no meat according to Chachamim, it's a problem. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Shitat Chachamim. I'm shechting. I need to be shechting in mind for the person that is healthy and can eat, and there needs to be a kazait. When I'm sprinkling when I'm sprinkling the blood for Chachamim, there needs to be a kazait. But if I think about the wrong person when I'm sprinkling the blood, it's okay. Meaning there has to be food. Here there has to be food and there has to be the right guy. Sprinkling, there has to be food, but it could be the wrong guy. That's Shitat Chachamim. Rabbi Natan is more. You got that?
it's two actions.
There are two things. There is shechting and there is sprinkling.
When you say kazait for everyone?
Kazait for each person, yes. So I'm shechting for all the people that are signed up and they get a kazait. When I'm sprinkling, there needs to be meat.
But it could be the wrong person.
But it could be the wrong person. That's Shitat Chachamim. Rabbi Natan is even more mekel. I need to shecht for a person that could possibly eat even though there's no meat. And when I sprinkle the blood, there can even be no meat as well. The question is, do I need to think about the right guy? When I'm sprinkling the blood, it can be no meat as well, because that's Rabbi Natan. I can shecht or sprinkle even if there's no meat, but I need to think about a guy that could technically, possibly, theoretically eat if there was meat. Mm-hmm. Let's continue. So next, new braita. Mantana lehaditanu Rabbanan. Now we are on the fourth big lines in the middle. Mantana lehaditanu Rabbanan harei shayach choleh beshat shrita. So now I'm thinking about Mr. Sasportas. He is sick when I'm shechting. V'chanim b'shat drika. I'm thinking about him, but then when he gets healed, but he's already healthy by the time I'm sprinkling the blood. So he couldn't eat it when I was shechting, but he could eat it when I'm sprinkling the blood. Chalim b'shat shchita, or the opposite. He's healthy when I'm sprinkling, when I'm shechting. V'chole b'shat zrika. But he is sick when I'm sprinkling. En shochatin vezokin alav. We do not sprinkle it. Ad sheh chalim mishat shchita ad shad zrika. He needs to be healthy from the beginning to the end. Who says that? Neima Rabbanan hi velo Rabbi Natan. Well, for sure it's Rabbanan, because Rabbanan says I got to be shechting for the guy that's healthy. I got to be sprinkling for a guy that's healthy, even if it's the wrong guy. So he needs to be healthy from the beginning to the end. So that's Chachamim, but not Rabbi Natan. Would Rabbi Natan give a heter over here? Velo Rabbi Natan. So the Gemara says, Afilu tema Rabbi Natan. Gavra dechaze nachina bainan. Even Rabbi Natan needs that the person should be able to eat from the beginning to the end, even for sprinkling.
So at this consolidation of that, what's
what's the what?
The issue of that problem? If he was sick in the beginning or
I'm not finished. We need 7 more minutes. We need 5 more minutes. Five. Give me five. Okay. Fine. Give me 5 minutes. Okay. What do we say for Shitat Rabbi Natan? Shitat Rabbi Natan is you need to shecht for a guy that's able to eat it. But now we're saying that even need to sprinkle for a guy that's able to eat it, even if there's no meat. And Chachamim will also agree that we're saying that's Rabbi Natan. So this Braita says it's Rabbi Natan. The Gemara is going to say there's a different opinion right now. Mantana, new Braita. Mantana. שחט, מן תנתן דרבנן, שחטו בטהרה, ואחר כך נטמעו הבעלים. So now look what happened. I'm shechting it for Reuven. Reuven is tahor. And then nitmeu abalim, not the meat. Then Reuven becomes tameh before I sprinkle the blood. Yizrak hadam. Yizrak, I sprinkle the blood. Hatam bitara. Yizrak hadam bitara. The Kohanim can still sprinkle the blood. New case. I'm shechting for Reuven. Reuven is tahor. When it comes time to sprinkle the blood, Reuven is tameh. Do I still sprinkle the blood? According to this opinion, I sprinkle the blood. Who is that? Ve'an yochan basar betuma. But don't eat it. Kiman amre. Rabbi Elazar machloket shinuya v'Rabbi Natani. This is Rabbi Natan according to Rabbi Elazar. This contradicts what we said before. We said before that Rabbi Natan said you need the guy tahor from the beginning to the end, even the sprinkling. Rabbi Elazar doesn't hold of that. Rabbi Elazar says that according to Rabbi Natan, the guy needs to be holy and pure and able to eat at the time we're shechting, but not at the time we're sprinkling the blood. Sprinkling the blood is not ma'anim, not murid for Rabbi Natan. That is the way that Rabbi Elazar is saying. Therefore, the earlier brayta would have been chachamim. And Rabbi Yochanan amar afilu tema rabbanan. And Chachamim will say, even Chachamim say you're allowed to do it over here. Meaning, are you allowed to sprinkle? What are you allowed to? The guy Reuven is tahor, now Reuven is tameh. It's not in true because I said Reuven, but it's the balim. So the owner is tameh, now the owner is tahor, now the owner is tameh. Do I still sprinkle? What do I do with it? Yes, you still sprinkle it. Who is that? That could only be Rabbi Natan according to Rabbi Elazar, because he's mekel, not like we said before. But according to Rabbi Yochanan, we're talking about something else completely here. Even Chachamim will accept. And what are we talking about? Bitzibur. We're talking about a congregation.
It's a whole new lens here because it's
a whole new lens. This bright is a whole new lens. That even Chachamim, we're talking about the whole community. We shechted it while they are tahor. Then the Gadol Ador passed away. Everybody needs to go to the funeral. So now they all become tameh. Do we sprinkle the blood? Yes, we sprinkle the blood because we know the rule.
Because it's a lot of people? Or
because it's a community. Because we know the rule that when the community is tameh, it's called hutran. We continue everything. Dafidu betuma nami avde. The Gemara asks, ibet sibur amai en basar nechad betuma.
But doesn't everyone say bitzibur?
Yes, absolutely right. So the question is going to be now, why not eat it? So what do we say? We're talking about the whole community. We shechted, everybody's tahor. Exactly, everybody, even Chachamim.
Can't say it's only Rabbi Natan.
Exactly, even Chachamim. So now we're going to a whole new case. This bright is talking about where the whole community was tahor. We shechted it. Then the nasi dies. Everybody comes tameh. What do? We sprinkle the blood, but you don't eat it. Why can't you eat it? So who's saying this? Even Chachamim, because it's the community. The question is, why can't you eat it? We know the halacha is tumah zchutcha b'sibur. If all the community is tameh, and we're allowed to shecht it, we're allowed to sprinkle, we're allowed to eat it. So why here it's different? When we shecht it, they're tahor. Then become tameh, sprinkle it. Now don't eat. Now you're not allowed to eat it, even for Chachamim. Why? Answers: Gzeira shema yitmiu abanim nachar zrika v'yomru eshtakad no nitmiu v'achanu ashtanami nichun v'lo yaded eshtakad kizdarik bam banim tmeim avu ashta banim teorin avu. Very big difference. Let me repeat that one more time. When you are the whole community is tameh, you listening? The whole community is tameh. Everybody's tameh because there was the funeral of the Gadol Ador. If everybody's tameh before the shechita, shecht, sprinkle, eat, no problem. Same thing, when everybody's tahor, and we shecht the korban, and then they become tameh, sprinkle, eat. But here we don't let you eat. You know why? Because the halacha is, if everybody is tahor when we shecht, everybody's tahor when we sprinkle, and then everything is done, and then they get tameh, now you can't eat it. That's not called that you started in a state of tumah. If you become tameh at the end, you change status. So since it's in the middle over here, where we shechted tahor, we sprinkle tameh, they might make a mistake next year and become tameh at the end and say, last year we were tameh also, and we ate it, so we're going to eat it now also. That's why when it's in the middle, we put gzera, and it's even according to Chachamim. If we repeat everything we just said now in the shiur, so we have shitat Chachamim. When it comes to the individual, we need to shecht for the person that is able to eat the korban, and he gets a kazait. When we sprinkle, we need to have a person that is able to eat. There needs to be food, but I can mix up the people. When it comes to Rabbi Natan says, I can shecht for a guy that's able to eat, even if there's no food, there's no kazait. And when I sprinkle it, there doesn't even need to be food as well, but I need to sprinkle for a guy, according to according to Tanakama, according to Chachamim, I need to sprinkle for a guy that is able to eat. And when you have one more time, Shitat Rabbi Elazar is that according to Rabbi Natan, I can shecht for a guy that has that is able to eat, but there's no kazait, and I can sprinkle for a guy that's not even able to eat. And then we said one more thing at the end, is that when we're talking about a hutra b'tzibur, this is a Gushitat Rabbi Yochanan, the halacha is hutra b'tzibur means the whole community is allowed to, when they are tameh, shecht, sprinkle, eat. And the halacha min adin is if they are tahor, they shecht, then if they become tameh, they sprinkle, they eat. But b'dirabanan, we won't let you do that. If you become tameh after the shechting, we won't let you eat the korban. And the reason is because if you are tahor at shechita, tahor at sprinkling, then you become tameh, you can eat. So when you are in the middle, you might think next year that last year we let you after shechting and then sprinkling, we let you eat. So we're going to let you even after sprinkling, you become tameh. So we'll put a gzera dirabanan beruchim to you.